Welcome to another episode of Modern Infrastructure Wednesday. My name is Aaron Cow. This is part 2 of the series on Pulumi deployments. In part 1, I showed you how to use OIDC. In this episode, we will build a TTL stack processor, which is an application that monitors stacks in your organization and automatically triggers a Pulumi destroy through the Deployments API when a stack's expiration time has passed. We're using the TTL stacks example from the Pulumi deploy demos repo. Infrastructure waste is a huge problem. It's too easy to leave development infrastructure running accidentally and end up with a huge bill. Many companies have entire teams devoted to solving this problem. So, with our TTL processor here, we're able to have temporary infrastructure stacks that automatically clean themselves up after a period of time. We are going to deploy 2 stacks here for this demo. The first stack deploys the TTL processor, and the second stack will be tagged with the expiration time, and the TTL processor will reap it when it expires. The architecture works like this. The TTL processor is composed of 2 lambdas and an SQS queue. The Pulumi service sends events to the TTL processor, the first lambda, via a webhook. This lambda looks for update events that have a TTL tag. It calculates an expiration date and it queues the stack for cleanup. The cleanup queue processor, lambda, pulls from the queue looking for expired stacks and runs a Pulumi destroy via the deployment's REST API in the Pulumi service. Let's get started. Here we have the deploy demos repo with the TTL processor code that we're going to deploy. Okay, we've cloned the deploy demos repo here, and here is the TTL stacks folder. And this is the program for the TTL stack processor. It deploys the lambdas and it's able to read from a webhook all the events from Pulumi, and then it reads off of the queue and is able to execute a Pulumi destroy on all expired stacks. So let's start running this. We're gonna do a Pulumi stack init to start this. Then we are going to set the region. Do it to US West 2. And then we're going to set the Pulumi access token. So. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to create an access token. So here we go to access tokens, create token. Let's call this, and we're gonna do. Okay, we got that there. And now we can execute a Pulumi up. Okay, so here is the TTL stack processor. A lot of lambdas and this SQS queue. So there's 44 resources that it's going to create. So we're going to perform that update. And we'll let it deploy this stack, and we'll be right back. Okay, it is done. Now this URL is what we're going to use for our webhook. So I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to go back to the Pulumi console. I'm going to go to integrations and then hit create a webhook. Do that and create a webhook and save. Okay. Okay. So now that we've created a webhook, we're gonna provision another stack, and we're gonna tag that stack with a TTL, and then it's going to be shot off as an event, which the webhook will pick up. The Lambda will pick it up, read it, queue it onto the queue, and then the cleanup Lambda is going to read from that queue, and the ones that have expired, it's going to use the Pulumi deployments API to do a destroy command to tear down that stack. So let's do that now. All right, so let's create a folder here. Let's see. Okay. Go in here. Let's do a Pulumi new. Let's just do a very simple AWS Python application. Okay. Great, project name, that's all good. Put it into the demo organization, and we'll deploy to US West 2 here. All right, I'm gonna let that run real quick. Okay, that is done. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tag this stack specifically, and we're going to specifically set the tag to have a TTL and then a number of minutes. So we're going to set it at 1 minute, and then we will do a Pulumi up. So we're going to let that run. Okay, that's done. All right, we're going to flip back to our console, go to dashboards, and we can see that first there is the TTL stacks, the TTL processor. This is that deployment, and then the second stack that we just launched, which has the simple AWS Python application, is here. So you see that that update has succeeded. It's deployed to S3 bucket. Now, if we wait a minute, what's going to happen, what we should see is a Pulumi destroy command will happen, and the TTL processor will reap this stack because it's expired. So let me wait real quick and come back when that starts. So while that kicks off, we can actually do something here. We can just go look at the Lambda function in the AWS console, take a quick look at the logs and see what's happening. Here we go. A deployment is kicking off from the TTL processor, and that's going to destroy the stack. So if we go back here, we should be able to see the webhook coming in. So let's see. essentially this stack has expired, the demo MIW TTL demo dev stack, so it's been queued for destruction, and the Lambda is executing and calling the deployments REST API to destroy the stack. So you'll see here that that is happening now. We'll let it run through and then we'll be right back. Okay, it's done running. So you'll see that it's executing a deploy or destroy operation, and it's deleted all the resources. So if you go here, the resources are gone and the stack is now destroyed. So there we have it, a TTL stack processor that automatically cleans up infrastructure stacks, and it is all using the Pulumi Deployments API. So this video is based on code in our Deploy Demos GitHub repo. The link is below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. That is it for today's Modern Infrastructure Wednesday.